This is The Marketplace, a show where we talk to the mid and small cap companies of the Bursa Malaysia. Today, we talk to Serba Dinamik Holdings Berhad. Since making its debut on the main board of Bursa Malaysia on February 8th this year, engineering solutions company Serba Dinamik has time and again surprised market watchers. Having a substantial share of its business in the challenging and volatile oil and gas sector, Serba Dinamik has consistently outperformed the industry. It's done it again recently, recording a 28% year-on-year increase in revenue to 653.3 million ringgit and a 51% year-on-year increase in net profit to 68 million ringgit in the third quarter of FY17. And joining me on this show today is Datuk Karim Abdullah, Group Managing Director and Group CEO of Serba Dinamik. Welcome, Datuk, again to the show.
Thank you.
Recently, for your third quarter of FY17, you reported a 28% increase in revenue, a 77% increase in both PBT and PAT, profit after tax. What were the driving forces behind these strong results?
I will contribute this to the management team of Serba Dinamik, and of course the strong support from the board of directors. And I will also say that the unity that has been shown also at the working level towards the management in what we want to do and to achieve.
But in terms of business and financially, what were the main contributors to the revenue and the profits this quarter?
It goes back to our core competency or core revenue driver, which has been shown over the past few months and years or so, which is the operation and maintenance and also the EPCC. And I would say that in the last quarter, the other products and services show some improvement, which is contributed from the IT solutions and also the training and education activity.
Since you made your debut on the main board of Bursa Malaysia on February 8th, if I recall correctly,
yes.
I can see that you've consistently outperformed the sector. How do you manage to do this consistently?
I will say that this is because of the strategic planning that we put in. And in our strategic planning, what we are doing is we look at the end goals that we need to achieve, and we go backward how and what need to be done so that we can achieve that end goals. So when we look into it, we focus strongly on our core competency, which is the operation and maintenance capability. And fair enough, we have excelled quite greatly in that particular segment. And of course, the EPCC also picking up. And I strongly believe that first quarter of next year it will be much better. And based on that, I would say that moving forward, this will still be the key revenue drivers of the group itself.
Indeed, O&M, or operations and maintenance, make up a huge portion of your revenue. Some would even say disproportionately big. Some are even likening it to putting all your eggs in one basket. So how are you looking to diversify to ensure a healthier, more even distribution of revenue sourcing going forward for the group?
I think we need to look in a more objective manner of this operation and maintenance. What we are doing now, we are putting forward to the customer a bigger package of operation and maintenance, which it means that we look into competency or assessment or services which is tied up to the productivity and the efficiencies of the respective asset that is owned by the customer. So this is something value added. And then on top of that, we also have the ability to reverse engineer parts and supply those parts as a component to solve the needs of the customer, which need the part on a very urgent basis. So I think it's an added scope of the O&M, and as a result of that, you can see that there are increments in terms of the revenue that is being generated.
But nevertheless, I think it is safe to say that the company and the group would be looking to diversify further in terms of its revenue streams going forward. You mentioned just now IT and technology. Tell us a bit about that.
If you look at the prospectus that we have laid out to the investor, we will have, or we have mentioned that the key revenue driver will be coming from operation and maintenance and also EPCC. other products and services. So under other products and services, there are two core activities inside there, which is IT solutions and also education and training. So from the IT solutions, we believe that we cannot deny the importance of IT in all the engineering activities that we are doing. So as a result of that, we put effort onto that. And fair enough, in line with the industrial requirements, for example, like Industry 4.0, IT plays a very important role. So we have looked into that in a very serious manner. We have successfully recently launched what we call it as MyTPA. It's a Malaysia third-party administrator web portal combined together that it has ability to go online real time through mobile phone applications, both the Android and also iOS. So this gives different options to the members of the clinic, where we collaborate under this particular case with Perdim Malaysia.
All right, we'll talk more when we come back. We'll have to take a short break, Datuk. We'll return with Datuk Karim Abdullah, Group MD and also Group Chief Executive of Serba Dinamik, the marketplace. We'll be right back. You're back with me, Luqman Hariz, on the marketplace. I've been speaking to Datuk Karim Abdullah, Group Managing Director and Group CEO of Serba Dinamik. Now, Datuk, we talked about, before the break, we talked about O&M being a significant revenue contributor to the group. Yes. And the Middle East region is one of the main contributors to the O&M segment. Given the current volatility of the region, how exposed are you, if you are exposed, and what are your strategies to mitigate if the risks increase in this region?
I would like to put 2 points to this. Number one, Middle East countries has never been denied or has never been running away from all this volatility. If you look back into September 11th incident that happened way back many years ago, due to that particular incident, a lot of people have left the Middle East, especially the Western companies and so on. We went in there, and until today, which is talking about 16 years, more than 16 years now, we are still there. And it still become a very heavy or big revenue contributor to our company. So I would say that it's an area which is always volatile, and I strongly believe that it will still be a safe location for a company like us to provide services and so on, because all the big powers are there, and I'm very sure that they do not want to destroy that particular region. Number two, if it comes to the worst situation, we have mitigated that by moving into a few other countries, for example, like the African continents. We have moved in together with the advice of IDB, Islamic Development Bank, and they have been there for more than 30 years, and with the advice that they gave us, I strongly believe that we should be moving in the right direction for that particular continent. And fair enough, we have been successful to get something out from Tanzania, and we are looking into other countries now within that Africa continent. Among others, we are looking at Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and of course Guinea on the western part of Africa. And on top of that, we move into Central Asia also, in Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and also Kazakhstan. So I think this gives us a more bigger playing ground in terms of offering our capabilities and services, so that in a worst situation, it will help to mitigate the country which you mentioned just now, Oman, which is quite volatile in the perspective of some people.
Indeed. I want to go back to the African region you mentioned earlier, because it's quite interesting. You have breached Africa for the first time through Tanzania. What's your plan there?
We intend to use that as a pilot project for us to make a further bigger entry into that country. because we know that Tanzania is a country which is of interest to a lot of other service providers globally. It has the political stability that is needed. And even there's a lot of Emiratis who are investing into that particular country. So with that, we would like to use it as an entry point, and also based on what we believe, think globally, act locally, we will take into considerations in helping the local people over there in terms of employment, in terms of other CSR jobs that we need to do there, so that we can build up a strong relationships with the locals over there.
Well, back home, your participation in the Pengerang project has quite a huge GDV of about 1.4 billion ringgit and an expected capex of 1 billion ringgit. Some investors are still cautious of what they view as your lack of track record in property development. So how do you manage this perception?
We see it differently, Encik Luqman, because for us, it is not a property development. For us, this is talking about developing and setting up a global center of excellence, where we put in the latest state of technology and other capabilities, so that that particular hub that we are going to develop can also become a national kind of attractions to our neighboring country, which is Singapore, Indonesia, and up to Thailand, and maybe other global countries elsewhere, where we can offer this kind of excellent service to these people. When I mention excellent service, it's referring to high-end technology, maintenance, repair, overhaul, inspection, repair, maintenance, and other added value capabilities on the maintenance aspect. Those properties and infrastructure that we have developed, if there are parties who want to buy or lease, then we open up, and that will actually help us in terms of the cash flow of the entire project and the feasibility and viability of the project. So I would say that this is a hybrid kind of project that we are introducing it into the market.
All right, we'd love to talk about more, but time envies us actually, Dato'. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Dato' Karim Abdullah, Group Managing Director and Group CEO of Serba Dinamik. And that's it for this episode of The Marketplace. Send us all your feedback on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at 501awani. Download our app, as you can see there, on Google Play and also the Apple App Store. Listen to this interview also on your podcast. Search for Astro Awani or The Marketplace wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Luqman Hariz. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.